The fuck is this? Where's the YouTubes? YouTubes. What the fuck, bro? Oh my god. Oh shit, I should change the name of this. Yep. What up, famo? You were always the first one in the stream, bro. I fuck with you, dog. What up, Lou? Yo, this screen is so amazing. Danny, what's going on, bro? That temporary monitor I had, the resolution was so messed up, bro. Now I got the Raven boy. Got that Raven boy. Yo, so I was I forget what I was listening. Oh, I was listening to the new Sahi album, bro. Sahi, or how the fuck I say, bro, dude's name, which is like dope, bro. Like so dope, bro. Like so dope. And you know, it just took me back to well, that's what's up. I appreciate the sub. It took me back to like producing boom bap, and it's funny, like when I used to produce a lot of boom bap, you know, I worked with somebody. I worked with my boy who's a musician, and I couldn't like bass lines was always my weakness. I couldn't come up with bass lines, and when I was producing, like in that era, that's before I knew. It was such a different mentality because everything was. I had such like an MC mentality when it came to production. What up, Ice? That I didn't want to like listen and analyze other people's music, so I never thought to listen to bass lines or, you know, use other people's drums and shit like that. So I wanted to go over like boom bap drums. You know, we do trap here all day. I want to go over boom bap drums and how just how to go about getting the relationship between the sub bass and a boom bap drum. Because boom bap drums, right? Let's get some kicks. Let's go into this who can I fuck with? This Complete 11 better than Nexus? I don't know, bro. It depends on what you're trying to do, honestly. You know what I mean? And it depends on. I think honestly, it depends on on your level of skill as a producer. Like, if you're just starting out, like, you know, if you only been producing for a couple years, get Nexus. Because Nexus sounds they're just closer to probably the sounds that you want to make. Complete 11 is something for like more experienced musicians who know how instruments work, and they know they could take sounds and make them sound the way that they want to sound. Complete 11 circles a lot around just more acoustic type of sounds, and their synths aren't really preset heavy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even though Massive has a ton of presets, like it's such a dated synth that you know, unless you're willing to get into some sound design, you're not going to just like roll through presets and be like, oh fuck, this is dope. I mean, like the most epic Massive preset is like the butterfly stance ARP that is in the Hero beat, and fuck, Hero came out in like 2007, 8, something like that. So let me get some kicks. All right, so your boom bap drums, they're gonna revolve around the kick and snare. So these are like the critical samples, right? Like a trap kick, you're just looking for a short release kick, something you can use any kick as a trap kick as long as you make a short release, right? How good is the Studio 102 mobile? I don't know. I haven't used it. The guy Marcus over at Studio One Expert, I talk to him a lot. He's a friend. He swears by that shit. He actually did a breakdown of like how that interface connects with the blue and the green Z feature inside Studio One, and it's actually the 192 series from when you use it with Studio One. It's the fastest interface, right? Like it, no latency whatsoever. I mean, like a little bit of latency, but it's the closest thing to zero latency. And what happened was when Sound on Sound did it, they ran the benchmark without using the green Z, and it wound up, the way that they used it, it didn't get the most out of the interface. So the review kind of sullied the reputation of it. So they had to go and create the FireWire interface that was up to speed with what Sound on Sound was actually looking for. So the 192 series is like slowly becoming a forgotten product, but it's actually like low key the best interface out, like even better than the Apollo. I mean, the only fuck hold up out of here if you want to talk shit. The only reason why like things like the Apollo it is because the Apollo has the DSP, and it comes with or you can buy the UAD plugins, which if you're into UAD plugins, obviously you're going to want to fuck with the Apollo. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, dude, like now's the time to get complete. The only thing that sucks is when you buy complete right now is like Complete 12 is coming out, and they're gonna have like another gimmick that you want. But I like I always tell people to get complete, because once you get into that native instrument system, um, everything else that native instruments can come out with, you can always catch it at an affordable price. That's why I always tell people, like, yo, quit being a fucking like so scared of spending some money on your craft. Once you like take that initial hit and you spend that $500, every VST that's like big and bad that comes out, you're never gonna pay more than $200 for. And if you can't come up with like $200 every 6 months to get a fucking banging VST library, I don't know, bro. Like, like you're not like equipped for expensive hobbies, because this is an expensive profession or hobby. It can be. So I'm looking the thing about hip hop boom bap kicks is because it's not, the bass line isn't a sustained bass line like a long 808 bass line that goes throughout the length of the pattern. The kick has a sub like layer underneath it, and it acts as the bass instrument along with the sub bass. So I want to show you guys how to do that. Can't tell with the headphones, but I think this one will work. Was it the Casios? Yeah. Yeah, if you're looking like again, like complete is real good for complete is really good for like acoustic type of instruments. I mean, it's great for synths too. Don't get me wrong, but you got you gotta be into some sound design. I have like I have on studio1tutorials.com. I just did a video like making a whole beat with only massive, making a whole beat with just serum. Like if you could get down if you could get down with like if you could just learn ADSR, the concept of a filter, and then wave tables or oscillators. It's like those three things. It doesn't take long to learn them. And actually, one of the fucking easiest ways I learned sound design, believe it or not, was just reading the manual of a synth, bro. Like if you read the manual of a synth, you will learn sound design, like because it tells you, it's like this button does this, this button does this, this button does this button does this, you know. All right, so we got this guy right here. Let me find a hippity hoppity snare. These snares are kind of trappy though. Actually, I'm lying. Fuck with the baboon snare. Fluent in Ableton and Logic. Why are you trying to learn two DAWs at once, bro? That's crazy. Nah, I'm fucking with you. Learn as many DAWs as you can. It's you'll find the one that really connects with you. All right, so I'm gonna run double A time because I'm just used to it. All right, just make a 2-bar loop, something simple. And let me just program this. It's a mean snare. Yeah, that Monarch synth is dope. I might use the Monarch synth to make the bass in this. Was that the kick I wanted? No, that's not the kick I wanted. It's like a kick from Yeezus. Alright, that's kind of subby. Oh, you use Machine? Machine is dope, bro. You definitely want to have a DAW though, for sure. Simple hat pattern. Nah. Yeah, I always adjust the velocity. That's one of the reasons I really like Ableton right now is because the velocity in the samplers are awesome. Right now, I use the worst hard drive in the world, bro. I use the Phantom drive, the Phantom Green drive. It sucks. It sucks a lot. Don't ever buy it. It says it's 72 or 100 RPM on Cyber Monday. I'm buying a fucking Samsung 500 gig portable SD drive. Fuck the bullshit. I have a Mac that I saved my Steam folder for Omnisphere and my contact libraries on, and that shit loads so fast it changed my life. All right, so one thing you definitely want to make sure like the kicks that are syncopated that come before like one that's either on a backbeat or a downbeat. You want to make it pretty much you want to have that velocity a little lower. That's just gonna do wonders for your rhythm, bro. Then I'm going to go to the quantize setting and get the put some MPC swing on it on the kicks. I mean, it's up to you, internal or external, bro. Like, if for external with the sample library sizes nowadays, I definitely just recommend using an SSD, bro. It's like more important than any VST that you could have because it's so fast. All right, I'm gonna go nuts with the swing on this one. Yeah. All right, so let's go. Since we're talking, goddamn, complete. Let's dig up the old. Where you at? Oh no, that's in Reactor. Damn, I haven't used that in a minute. Instruments. Let's go to Reactor, son. Yeah, battery 4 is amazing. I like I don't know. I like I it's definitely better for drums. Like, it's definitely better for drums. But I really like the workflow of having these individual tracks inside sample one and being able. I like the browsing and sampling. Like, I like how quick I can find a sound in sample one. I like how I can make sound in battery. Yo, get it now. It's 25. It's 25 percent off, bro. Get it. Exhale is fucking fire. I mean, like we've been raping the sounds in Exhale for like 3 years now, so it's definitely time to get on, bro. And that's the thing, bro. I always stress this to you guys. Like, when a new VST comes out, and you can tell that it's fire, get it and start using those sounds before everybody else gets them, bro. Because now that shit is well used. Let's find a bass. It's a Dutch sub. Is it like a Dutch oven? take this octave down. Let me just find a sample real quick before I start fucking with a bass line. Make my life a little easier. I know that like the whole point of what I'm trying to do is in these damn drums. What the hell is this? That's fucking cool, but that is not what we're doing today. Alright, see, we could do this. This we could do. Let's take this up to D minor. I don't want to deal with that shit. All right, so you see, I've got this chordal movement going on. We got the vocal sample. We got the hip hop drums, right? So typically, if you've been watching my videos for a while, you've been making trap shit. The first place you start is taking the kick pattern and setting it to the root note, and then setting it to the root note, and working out a bass line from there, right? So let's see, let's just set this to length. Let's do a legato. So you'd have something like this, right? And then maybe like on your syncopated notes, you would go up in pitch. And can you guys see the piano roll? I got this different resolution now. I don't want to leave you guys to where you can't see. All right, so I'm like right now I'm showing I've got the kicks on ghost notes, you know. So if we solo this, so we're hitting every note, you know. You can stay within the scale, make a bass line. And then like that works, right? And that's like it's like modern hip hop kind of bass theory. But to get more like a true school sound, what was done typically, and especially in the early days, what this came from is, you know, you couldn't just go, if you were making tracks, you couldn't just go and fucking hack a VST and have it, you know. You had to have a synthesizer, and synthesizers are fucking expensive, bro. So they would do things like certain consoles would have a test tone, and then you could tune that down, and it would be a sub bass, right? Or you could sample, you know, like a breakdown of the song where there was a bass hit, and then you would take that bass hit and make it a one shot and spread it across 16 levels, and make a bass line like that. So that's why, you know, a lot of boom bap is very kick heavy to supplement the bass line. It was because it was a necessity, and that's how you got the style from it. So a lot of the times what you'll hear is you'll just hear the root note of the track, right? Just on the downbeat of every bar. So this is you know, this is showing 2 bars. We're in double time, right? So that's actually 1 bar. All right, so let me take it a step further, right? Because we got a DAW, and we're intelligent. We'll go ahead and take the tuner, because I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with my videos over the past months, but tuning the drums is very important. All right, so this sample is already in D, which is awesome. All right, so now when you play it together, you have this. Then when you want to, that's a hip hop bass line. That's a boom bap bass line. As long as the subs in your thank Mike. As long as the sub in your kick is powerful. So like this kick, the sub is pretty powerful. We could take it a step further. You know what I mean? Hit this hit the EQ, see what we're looking at. You see what I'm saying? A lot of our power is coming from that 60 hertz, which that's nice. So but it's not super subby. So I'm just gonna add a shelf EQ here around the sub range. Let's see. Did I put my eye locks back in? Oh, I did. All right, so I can show you guys something. as far as the balancing is concerned, when you're going for this type of drum, because that's where people who like didn't come up making this type of shit fuck up, is the whole balancing. Like in trap or in 808 bass music, that 808 is so important that you tend to, the kick is like whatever. The kick isn't the star of the show. In boom bap, the kick is the second loudest part of the beat. The snare is the first, right? The snare is the loudest part of the beat, then the kick. Then you want to yeah, I mean, Mike, people say that it's something that's done. It's a point of debate. Some people do it, some people don't. I think the production phase of the of everything, you don't have to roll off the under 20, because the mastering engineer is going to do that. But if you want to get closer to a polished sound, that is absolutely a great tip. So this is how I get that sub going. But if you guys are and all this shit is on sale right now, dude. Like I haven't had this plug in for a long time. I used to use this a lot when I was a little fuckboy fucking plug-in hacker. But now that I am legit, I finally found R bass on sale, so I brought it back into my life, and I forgot how much I love this plugin, especially for kick. So like the subtones is feeling like kind of weak at 40. So it's all this is it's pretty much the same thing as that EQ, just with a little extra sauce. But we'll just go ahead and turn this up. Now you hear what's you hear the difference. This plugin, a lot of people mess up when they use it, especially on kicks. Like that takes away the whole coolness of the kick right there. So what especially like that top end. So what I like to do in Studio One is just go ahead and add a new effects channel, and then add R bass to it. Where you at? There you are. And then set up what I want to do. I want to boost that 40. Let's say we'll boost it. We'll boost it like 8, because we could blend it in. Go back to this track. Where we at? And we're gonna get rid of R bass, and we're gonna use it as a send. That way I can still keep that tone of the kick. I can still keep the tone of the kick, but I'm going to now I can add those subtones. So that's without it. You hear how that's in there now. Now to take it a step further, right? And this is gonna seem like kind of, like, yo, you're being like super picky with this. But if we go to like Google, I used to have this, and we hit a note frequency chart. So we're gonna find a note frequency chart, right? And let's see. All right, so we'll find D, right? D1 is like 36, 37-ish. So what we do is, instead of going to 40, we'll take this to the actual frequency of, and it's actually closer to 38 than it is to 37 because the decimal is 37.7. So we'll actually use the note, the root note of the track, to boost those harmonics in the same space and get even tighter tuning. So that is something. This is something that's like this type of shit. The EQing by the note values. This is stuff that's done by professional mix engineers that don't mix for $75 a track. This is done. This is hit making shit right here. I think the reason why a lot of people have trouble, especially producers, have trouble with mixing, is because a lot of these basic fundamental skills are never talked about. It's kind of assumed that you should already know this, and because exactly. And because you can just go on and get a DAW and start making sounds and kind of fuck your way through making a track, and sometimes you get a good mix and sometimes you don't because everything lines up. But with these type of skills, you can start forming any samples to get anything. So you don't have to buy 7,000 fucking drum packs. You could just have that one that what they are, they sounds good, that's your style, and you could tune everything. But shit like this is the reason why people have trouble with the low end. Like, you can watch a million gajillion tutorials on tuning the low end. I mean, dude, I've seen a lot. They'll show you put an R bass on it, roll off 20 hertz, side chain, use harmonics, use distortion, use an exciter, use this and use that. But if your frequency profile does not match up with the tones in the track, you're going to have fundamental phase issues, and that is the number one cause of muddiness, right? So this is how fucking guys like Bob Power, when they were doing when he was doing all them old school Tribe records and shit like that, that's how they got these kicks to just clack 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 clack, was because they were taking these professional approaches that people didn't even think about. Like, the number one problem that people have in rock mixes is these amazing drum players that don't know how to tune their kits, so they have to go. That's why drum replacement is such a big thing. But this is it's gonna be up, but that's why that's how you get this. So that's, as far as the mixing, that's how that goes. And then the thing about it is if you're if you're into making trap and shit like that, and you're a fan of like guys like Metro and Sunny Digital and the whole 808 Mafia squad, and just anybody who's a really good trap producer, this is gonna seem really weird because you're like, yo, this bass line is like way too simple, like something has to happen with the bass. But you have to remember the boom bap genre, it's not all about that sub bass. Like, the sub bass happened, and remember, we was riding around with 15-inch subwoofers in our cars back then, so there was a lot of bass. But it's a mentality. The majority of them subs is coming from actually the kick, and that's why it's so important to get your drums in tune. Now, if you want to make a turnaround on your bass line, a super simple tip is just like, all right, here's your last kick right here, so you can just go and hit where your last kick is and go down to, if you want to go down, if you want to go down with the melody, going to the seventh, or like the note before the next note in the scale, always sounds good, right? So do this. And then from there, all right. So let's focus. Let's focus on this turnaround, right? So let's just go. Let's just go drums. Let's just go drums and bass, right? I want to focus on that. So that's a good turnaround. That works musically. And notice I didn't spend a million jillion hours searching for the perfect bass patch. I found one. It was low, had a little bit of distortion on it. When you tune things, everything sounds good. That's why people can make Nutello. I built them, bro. I built them shits. Um, what drivers do I use? I use my Complete Audio 6 and OBS and voice meter. That's all I'm using. So from here you can if you want to make a more like exciting turnaround, you can like stuff that like Dre or like like the G Unit era would do. Like you wanted like a more of like a do no 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 no. So say you heard that in your head. Say you heard do no 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 no. But you don't know how to hit. I have not, bro, and I'm sorry. I have not. I got to do that. My bad, bro. But say you heard do no 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 no, and you wanted to program it, and you don't play. Right. So the way that I would figure out how to do that was I would be like do no 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 do no 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 no. You slow it down. Do no 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 no. That's how a player would do it. Like if they wanted to go do no 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 no, they would start just finding the tones, right? So in a piano roll, you need to count them out. So you want to go do no 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 no. So you're like do no 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 no. Count on your fingers. That's 5 notes, right? So I know I need 4 more notes in here. And when I hum it out, those notes are of equal value, right? So I'm just gonna add 5 more notes in here, right? So, and then we could take it and just start walking around the scale, right? So maybe I'll do something like this, and that's why scale quantize is so dope, because if you're not, if you're just getting started in music and you're not really comfortable with writing melodies just by looking at a piano roll, you can just fucking guess and check your way through this shit. One, so I don't like the way that sounds in context now. Yeah, and I'm noticing I'm getting like some glide on that bass line. Yeah, that sounds good, right? So now I got to all right, so boom, there's my turnaround. And then say like still, you know what I mean? Like if you're just like freaking out because like, oh my god, I'm only making a bass line with 1 note. This is like crazy. Like, dude, trust me. Like, go and listen to official boom bap. Like most of those bass lines are just like 1 note. But if you need more music, if you're like more musical and everything, I mean, you could go from first to fifth. We'll bring the piano back in now. As a matter of fact, let me change the color on this. We'll change this to yellow. And let's bring the piano back in so we can kind of see. I should use the 2nd note in the scale because that's kind of what's giving this its property. Yeah, it sounds a little better with the like if you have a chord progression and you're doing boom bap, you kind of stay within the chords with your bass. They all go to the mix bus, Marshall. They all go to the mix bus. The mix bus. The mix bus is my main. That's just how I set it up. From fucking it's just a Pro Tools habit. It's not like something that needs to be done. It's just how I work. All right, so you got the yeah, bro. I mean, Jack. Like, what I would recommend to you guys, that are on artist, I would, if you don't have the 150, like Mike is suggesting, I would like get a subscription to something like Splice. I mean, that's where this background vocal sample came from. $7.99 a month. And just focus on curating an amazing sample library, and then using sample one, and just getting good drum sounds and shit like that, and just lean on samples and being creative with samples. If you can't get your VST game right. Let's see. Where's Buddy that was asking about Complete? I'll show you some Complete shit. What up, Rob? Let's see. I mean, my tie is pretty cool. It's like a Studio One's answer to Silent, but you gotta have that. You just gotta be willing to dabble in some sound design. I don't know why Maverick is tripping right now, bro. Yeah, Contact is fire. And then one of my favorite things about Complete right now is the Reactor Effects plugin, bro. Like, I've showed everybody this sauce, and people still sleep, which is fine because I'm using it. But the VHS plugin for the VHS ensemble for Reactor, whoo, bro, this thing is just like instant sauce. So I have this like dry ass piano, and that's why I'm saying, like, Complete, you're gonna have to get into sound design, and sound design isn't only just using synths. There it is. I don't know why. Why are you fucking with me? Isotope vinyl is cool, bro. I definitely have super nostalgia for that plugin, but this shit is the truth, though. It's that little detune. It's life. It's a little too much right there, though. Let me back that down. Just back that down. Do you know about the time machine setting in Contact? No, I don't know about the time machine setting. Tell me about the time machine setting. It sounds familiar, but I don't know about it. What do you think about the Yuhi synths? People say amazing things about them, dude. I never got into them, to be honest. I had Zebra back in the day, but it had a time bomb in it because I didn't have a what's it called? I wasn't legit. Yes, that's pretty much the balance of like a boom bap type of vibe, and it's like again I was listening to you guys that came later on in the stream. I was listening to the Sahi album, bro, and it's just like wow, dude, like this shit is so dope, and it's like all the drums are very boom bap centric, and I know I do a shitload of trap, and I just wanted to kind of show you guys the ins and outs of it because it's a lot. um, it seems simple, especially coming from like doing like a lot of like drum wizardry and trap. Like the drums and trap are very intricate, um, but it's knowing first about the balance, snare loudest, then the kick, then the sub bass. Another thing with this type of shit is your hats. A little cool trick is take your hats and take all of them and just pull them fucking off the grid, bro. Like, I mean, you can depending on what type of vibe you want, you can make it obnoxious. Like that's gonna throw you right into like boom bap drum territory because even like if you watch like it's good to watch tutorials if of drummers playing different styles, especially if you're like recreating like an acoustic drum type of vibe. Just watching the drummer explain how they do it, like a lot of the times they, like when if you read if you read like a hip hop drums book, or like actual playing drums, or you watch like a hip hop drummer video, they tell you like you have to play the hi hats late. Like that. That's how you get that vibe. And then, if you want to make it more current, of course you could add different roles in there. But what I would do is I would take, like, if I wanted to, if I wanted to get crazy and I wanted to make this more like a current type of vibe. So we have like you know, now that we're in the parameters of like a boom bap track, what I'll do is I'll take this hi-hat pattern, right? So that's gonna be kind of like my main hi-hat pattern. Just, and I'm gonna get a different sample, right? Just get a completely different sample. Alright, so I'll take this guy, right? Different sample, different tone. And then if I wanted to, say add a roll, I would do it with a different one. So now what we have going on in the rhythm is we have the 53% swing on the kick, 63 on the snare. We've dragged we've dragged the main closed hi-hat off, however much we've done it. So we've got different rhythms going, which is going to make your groove sound awesome. And then if you want to add that that new jack shit, so say I'll add one right here. We'll go to 16s, hit the triplet. Oh, I gotta take the make sure you take your swing off, right? So this is like this would be like a like the shit they're doing over at TDE, like Kendrick Lamar vibes and shit. All right, so we'll hit this here. And then these, you don't want them like up in your face like in a trap song. You want them present. You don't really even want them present. You want them somewhere that where that they're there, and then the person listening to it is like, yo, they got, because like a lot of people who are into boom bap, as soon as they hear a fucking stutter, bro, they're like, yeah, I'm not fucking with that. All right, so this is an E. So let me switch this. Actually, no, it's not an E. It's an F. All right, and then we'll just go ahead. This here. Then you want to take it a step further. I'm gonna hit A, add and remove, and I'm gonna audio and add a pan automation. That way we can, make this shit sound real cool. So now you can kind of get your trap fix. Now you got your rolls, and you're feeling better about your beat, because it doesn't sound like a Pete Rock beat. Now it sounds like something for the new age, right? Yeah, boom bap is totally about getting a more realistic sound. Uh, you got to remember, hit when that genre was dominant, right? A lot of the drums they weren't necessarily being played. They were break loops, like Funky Drummer and shit like that people were taking and either like rearranging them a little bit, or just playing them over and over again. Like there was a record called Ultimate Breakbeats, and that's where everybody was getting their drums from. It was like everybody had the sample packs. That's why if you listen to RZA's first album called Bobby Digital, he was like the first like angry producer who was always like talking about he was always talking about like production in his raps. Like he's like the first rapper you hear talk about Pro Tools editing, and he's like name dropping the names of compressors and shit. It's funny going back and listen to that music. But he starts out the album, he's like ultimate break beats and shit. People have been re-looping and using the same shit for a million years. And his whole, like in 1998, and this was like in the Swizz Beats era and the Manny Fresh era, when that sound started to get dominant, people started to move away from sampling. The whole vibe was, all right, we're gonna play everything. You know what I mean? But for the boom bap vibe, it was drummer sampled. So like these type of kicks right here, this pattern right here, like that's something the dun, like that's what a drummer would do, because pomp would be boring, right? So it'd be like pomp 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 pomp. That's more fun to play. So you keep that in mind when you're doing your programming. And then to kind of bring it, like I said, to kind of bring it into this new style, that's when you kind of go over top of it. But you don't want like a fuckload of rolls. You know what I mean? You just want them kind of spread out. I'm actually gonna try something. I'm gonna try to take these down a full octave, see what that sounds like. I like that. Not gonna lie, I like it. And then even from there, dude, you put like a little plate reverb on it. Yeah, that's that West Coast vibe, Danny. That's Curtis King is fucking sick, bro. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about? Yeah, no, I don't know, like yeah, Mike, like people, the thing that's like crazy about having a DAW, because of the way that you could program, like it's a gift and a curse. You could do so much with it. It gives you so much power, but because you're sitting here looking, you forget to listen sometimes. Like you can, like I can program something, like I could make a beat with no fucking speakers, and the beat will be fire. I promise you. um because I've made so many beats on a DAW that I know what looks good. But you got to take the time to listen. Um should we do a frequency bus on the mix bus? Nah, bro, don't. You want to, anything, like if you got a frequency, like if you need to boost, say like your track sounded better if you made like a large sweeping boost from on like 2000 hertz, right? You need to find the instruments in your track that have fundamental frequencies at 2000 hertz and push the faders up on those. Oh yeah, I think about the delay, Ableton delay millisecond CFig. I don't use it. You gotta put me on, bro. I was reading online the Tone 2 puts malware and viruses in the software. I don't know if that's true. I don't know. I have Electra 2. I've been using it a lot, like a lot, bro, and I haven't have any problems on my computer. Um, Adam McCree made a video talking about Electra putting is I mean, I trust Av, bro. Av's a smart guy. Av really knows his shit. What exactly is the QWERTY keyboard used for? Oh, I don't have like I have this new desk and I can't. It's a mixing desk. It's not a production desk, so I don't have my MIDI keyboard hooked up here. Um, so I'm using the QWERTY keyboard as my MIDI controller right now. Let me see here. Yeah, yeah. When the MPC came out and there was you were able to have longer sample times. Like that's when the chopping started happening. Like hip hop production in the beginning was super simple, bro. I mean, they literally started making beats just by having a dual tape deck and recording, pausing, to catch the sample, right? So they would have a loop, like and it would be like a little 4-bar loop. So they record it and then pause it and then pause the tape and then rewind that loop and then hit record again and then pause, and that's how they would catch a loop. Then they would find drums underneath it, you know, put that tape in, record over that tape with the drums. You know what I mean? Like it was crazy. The boost of the key. You mean for the no. That should be done. That should be done per track. Per track. I'm like when you're EQing and you're like if you're sweeping and you're looking for places, like pull up a frequency chart and kind of get an idea where the fundamental, like the root node of your track is, and try boosting that first in certain instruments. It might sound good, it might sound not. And then also when you're cutting frequencies, sometimes cutting frequencies that are notes that aren't in the scale of your track um, is a fucking huge pro tip. That's why that Waves HEQ is really dope, or any EQ that has a spectrum that tells you what note it's in. That's why those softwares, that's why those EQs came out, and that's why they're expensive. Yo, man, I've been thinking about doing some videos, bro, like of just like not a like production, but just talking about like production from the past, and then like relating it to today, like some short videos. I don't know if you guys would like watch that or not, or just be like, yo, just show me how to make beats. The arrangement of this beat. All right. All right, so this is essentially this is like an 82 beat per minute track. So I'm gonna treat it like a sample track, right? And you watch that, yeah, because I realized I realized like I'm old, like I didn't realize. I looked at the stats of my YouTube, but I'm like from 7 to 12 years older than you guys that watch my videos. So I've been a part of like hip hop that you guys haven't seen, and it's just like it's so funny how cycles, you know, reintroduce themselves, man, and you can get inspiration from the past, you know. Like I don't want to like come off like I don't have an intention of like coming off like fucking Joe Budden and being like everything was so much better in the 90s, But yeah, you'd be surprised how much shit is inspired from the past. So Hit wants to see the arrangement. All right, so think about tracks like this, boom bap and everything. Is this you have some boom bap beats that's just a 2-bar loop, and because the lyrics were so important in songs when boom bap was a dominant genre. The because boom bap was such a dominant free VSTs. I don't know, bro. I honestly I don't fuck with a lot of free VSTs, man. I only recommend you guys stuff that I use, Keith. But I appreciate you following the channel and learning with us. Because like the rapper was such a big part of it, like they would just like have pauses over the track, and some rappers just wanted to rap over loops. But when you're doing this, you want to, even if you're using VSTs, you want to treat them like a sample. So a good reference for shit like that is yeah, no, I mean, the thing about the '90s is where we got like is where like the culture is like where the music and the lyricists, not necessarily the music, but the lyricists got like to their pinnacle. You know what I'm saying? Like we got Jay and Nas and Wu-Tang, and then we capped it all off with Eminem. You know what I mean? And there's like, you don't have like you can think whatever you want about Eminem. Like honestly, like there's only one Eminem song that I listen to like today, and I still like feel like, this is fucking just dope. But like technically, like nobody's like, he's like the fucking best lyricist of all time. I'm not gonna say that he's made the best songs of all time, but as far as like rapping, so like, and that was in '99. So you literally had the pinnacle of lyricism, and then that cycle ended. You know what I'm saying? And it started being more about vibes, and less about having the most amazing lyrics, because we got to the point. So now we're kind of like back in like hip hop's early days, which is really weird for people to, especially like people who grew up in the '90s, to understand, because like we didn't listen to hip hop in the '80s, so we just kind of forget that hip hop in the '80s, these dudes were dressing mad weird and their rhymes were mad simple, but it was all about having a good time. Anyway, but yeah, that's what that was all about. So the arrangement, I don't want to go too far off the arrangement, because I can make a fucking video about that. With arranging something like this, I go to this song. I go to Uchiwali, bro, because it's a simple beat, it's a simple sample, but there's movement in this. And it's part of the reason why it was a hit, even though the song is an extremely fucking vulgar song about fucking hoes and getting head in a staircase. This song was a huge hit because of the way that the music moved. Like people wasn't even fucking with Nas like that. Like this is pre-Ether Nas. Like people still thought he had fell off. So pay attention to the sample. I'll show you what I'm talking about.
Ooh, yeah, motherfucker.
Thugs, make it hot, make it pop.
Chihuahua wale, ooh, chibang bang, ooh, Chihuahua wale, ooh, chibang bang, ooh, Chihuahua wale, ooh, chibang bang, ooh, Chihuahua wale. He really, really, really worked my body. He really, really, really turned me out. He really, really, really got the goodness. He really, really made me scream and shout. He really taught me how to work my body. He really taught me how to go down south.
The living room, getting it on, and they.
All right, so you notice that the hook and the first verse have the same drum, same bass. All right, so check this out.
Main Regis, Nas, the one they call Red.
They change a little bit of the drums right there.
Then they read tonight. Check the new slang.
Bang bang, ooh, chihuahua wale.
Go back to the hooks. That was a 16. Now we're back at the 8-bar
Really,
hook.
really, really work my body.
Yeah, what up, ma? Take a look, you or pass it a Nate pussy like new pussy.
There it is, right here. Around like 206, around that second verse, you get a different piece of the sample. You notice that the music goes up. So you have this loop here,
Party, waves, braids, baldies, straight.
and then you got this.
Then my dick sleeping, I ain't got a cola for weeks. Long leg holes, mohead holes.
So you gotta have something like that in your arrangement that you could flip to provide that. All right. So all right, Mike, that's what's up. So the easiest way to do it, especially if you got VST, if you're working with VSTs, is just like build that with your VSTs, right? So we got, if we got this loop right here, you just kind of build off of this. So we can do something. First, we could try some inversions, right? So let's see. This is the 1 chord, and we're going from 1 here. So maybe we'll turn this into a 5, right? And then this is 3, 5, 7. That's 7. So let's see what this does. And then we'll just take this. You just make a little difference. And I picked the 5 chord because I know that 5 goes into 1. So that's different enough. You can get just so I'm not here all night doing this, but you can get as deep as you want into it. Find the perfect switch, right? And then you fuck with the sample too, bro. So we'll take this. You start making little changes, right? So we'll take this and we'll. This hit twice. Alright, so we'll take this and kind of have this go with the piano. Bring this back here, right? Boom. Then we take our bass line. This is very important. We kept this one the same, but we moved this up to a 5 chord. So we're just gonna make sure that we keep in theme with that, so that our chords match. Boom, right? Okay, we'll get rid of this turnaround right here. As a matter of fact, we'll get rid of both turnarounds. We'll just make this simple. All right. So now we got the 2 sections. See, we're super close, but just different enough to add some excitement. So now, if we run that Uchi theory, right, is what I like to call it, just dubbed it that right now. Okay, so we'll run this beat like this. We have, that's our intro, that's 4 bars, and then we got the hook right here, and then we got a 16-bar verse, which is 4 patterns. All right, then we got the hook again. Then we go into the first 4 bars of the 16. Then we switch here, but it's just a warm-up switch. It's not a full switch. So we kind of tease them. Shit. Fuck, I got lost. All right. Let's see. Intro. This is our hook. One, 2, 3. That's 16. This is our hook again. Right? Yeah. And then we got the second verse. All right, so let's go. So, all right, intro. Take out the drums. Take out the bass. Thank you, Swag King. I appreciate that. All right, so now you start making little changes to the drum. So we'll take the rolls out for this, just so that we're a little different. So now we're back into the hook. We know how that goes. And then maybe here, the second verse, you don't want it to be the same beginning as the first verse. That's gonna get your beat skipped when people play it. See right there, and then I want to go. We just want to do a quick tease of that pattern, right? So we'll take that out. We'll bring our main pattern back in. And this is the shit I love about arrangements, bro. Because once you realize that it's all math and so easy to get. It's so easy just to like take your shit to a new level. Take the hi-hats out here to accentuate it. And then we'll do something with the snare, right? So you should just be like, when you're going through this process, you should just be, listening and just thinking like, where can I add something new? Just little subtle changes. Add some velocity to these. So that's 4, 8, 12, and then at the end of the 16, that's where we're going to, the last 4 bars of the 16, that's where we're going to bring this this change up here. Alright, so at that point you can take and copy the hook back over. And then what I like to do is give them the first an easy trick is you could on the third verse kind of make it the reverse of the second verse, right? So you take and fucking throw those patterns in. Da da da. It's just a real quick and simple trick. So that'd be your third verse now. I'll do the same thing here. We're gonna take these hi-hats out because the hi-hats bring the energy down. When you're arranging, it's all about energy. Ooh, I like that. So we're gonna hit a clack 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 there. Yeah, that's what's up, Hit. If I can inspire one person to fuck with boom bap that normally makes trap music, my life is been fulfilled, bro. Because it's definitely fun to fuck with. And we'll take this kick out and this roll and just focus on the snare. Yeah, no, I think my girl's home, bro. Fucking little bitches get excited. Yeah, I mean, like, bro, as far as using as far as like using drum breaks, like just throw them, put them like, set them to time stretch, to the tempo of the DAW, throw them in the arrange window, build a beat around them, and then try stacking drums on top of them. And what I like to do is, like, you can filter some of the lows out, that way that your kicks hit more. Um, go through Guitar Rig, put different presets on it, and kind of there's two ways to approach them. You can stack them and beef them up and kind of augment them. Also remember that your samples that you add are going to be louder than that drum break. So if it's a real simple drum break, you can add like syncopation into it, and that'll make it sound cool. The way that I personally like to use drum breaks, a lot of people don't do this, is I'll filter the fuck out of it and put like a spacey type of vibe to it, a real trashy Guitar Rig effect, and get it going like that. I gotta hold up. I gotta see what's popping with the Heat, bro, because they're gonna snap that little fuck ass winning streak tonight. Stephen A. Smith agrees with me. Let's see. Hold up. Let me check this Bleacher Report. Fucking Heat fall apart in the third quarter, though, bro. Yo, 42-26, dog. 42-26. All right, so I gotta get off this stream because I gotta watch my Heat destroy Kyrie, and I'm pretty sure that my Facebook sports group is going nuts, bro. But yeah, I think I did more than I thought I was gonna do in this stream, man. Happy Thanksgiving, bro. Like, to all you guys, you know what I'm saying? I hope you guys, especially younger guys, are like, I know sometimes, like, when you're at that age, between like 18 and like maybe like 27, like Thanksgiving can be like, kind of a drag. Like, you got the time off, but you wish you were doing something else. You got to go to your girl's family's house or your family's house, but like the time you spend with your family as you get older and older is less and less, and dynamics change in the family. People get divorced, and if you got one of them situations where like everybody's coming together and you get to be with your brothers and your aunts and your sisters, and maybe like you can't like do what you want to do or turn up the way that you wanted to, like, just appreciate those people, man, because they're important, and they're not always gonna be there. So definitely take time and enjoy your family's fucking corny jokes, and even if you got people who are like trying you about your music shit, just try to find common ground with everybody, and don't get discouraged by your folks, or your grandparents, or your smart ass uncle, like, say, hey, you still doing your little music thing, like, just brush it off, have fun, smile, make sure to say I love you, and enjoy the day, man, because I can't wait to spend time with my dad and my brother, man. So yeah, man, I'm definitely thankful for all you guys and following me, what I'm saying, keeping up with the channel. It's honestly like probably the most fun that I do is like helping you guys throughout your production journey, and just seeing like how excited everybody gets when they learn something new, man. That's fucking, to me, that's better than placing a beat. Real shit. So yeah, man, happy Thanksgiving. I'm gonna go watch this Heat game. We finna break that streak, and we're gonna start a streak of our own. Keep it simple, do not be basic, and bro, go and get super slimy. Fucking go and get super slimy. It's amazing. All right, I'm gonna talk to you guys later. Keep it simple, don't be basic, and I will see you on the next one, fam.